Hello everyone! Welcome back to some more Let's Play Occult Chronicles with me, your host Tim. Hey, today is October 13th, Friday the 13th, 2017. My friends will be over soon. I was in the mood to record something, and you know, we can probably fit in one more batch of Occult Chronicles, one more playlist. The last one took us 8 entire episodes, about 8 hours to do, which is quite a bit. Like, that's a long time to play a game of this magnitude, because this is supposed to be like a quick game. But I really liked it. I think you guys really liked the game as well, so we're going to go ahead and do another one. Unlike the last one, this time around we'll even play on Reaper. The game didn't crash when it gave me those error messages, so I think we'll probably end up okay. This also means, however, that I won't have any reloads whatsoever. The bad news about that is that I like having 2 reloads as I play through the game to help me circumvent some ungodly horrible luck which happens in the game. The good news about it, though, is that when we die, our character will end up here in the Lost Agents area. And you can see I've lost 3 people to Reaper mode. People who die in the normal game, I believe, you don't actually lose unless you completely run out of time. All the tokens are taken, and that's it. Oh god, look at Ichabod Wright. -7 luck. Holy crap, that's horrible. Luck is the bad omens that you get at the end. We can see our top agents, what Harley here had drawn 8 gain luck cards throughout her adventure. Unlike, good god, Ichabod Wright -7. Good god, I can't imagine playing that character. That is just super unlucky. Very unlucky. Alright, well everyone, let's go ahead and make yourselves a new character and get going. I'll try to remember to put a pinned comment down below for the character creation step, in case you guys don't want to go ahead and watch that. Okay, so it is still Halloween, so I'm in the mood to play a creepy type of mission, not a random one. Demons, not very I guess ghosts are more Halloween-ish, I think. Well, what is this? I don't think I've ever seen that one before. Strange Lights is UFO, that'll be aliens. This one is one of the tougher ones, Belly of the Beast. This one is you're fighting the house itself. That one is very, good god, the house is so tough. We could do another Elder, but I think we just saw the Elder, so we'll play something different. I've never actually, so the only ones I've beaten have been the Elder, we did that on screen, and the UFO mission. I've lost all my other attempts to do these other missions. I think today we'll try the Key and the Gate together. Let's go ahead and read this introduction. There have been rumors surfacing recently concerning the revival of a cult devoted to the tentacled ones. These creatures are said to be slumbering in an outer dimension and intent on returning to our world to assume their places as Earth's rightful rulers. Oh, this is completely different than the normal Cthulhu mythos. Those creatures just don't care about us. Weird. We might as well be like a dust mite on one of these creatures' bodies for how much it cares about us. Anyway, reports of missing young women from the neighboring town have kindled suspicions that the ancient Lovecraft estate might have new residents intent on some nefarious summoning or gate-opening ritual. The stars do seem to be right for a ritual. You have precious little time remaining before a celestial conjunction, not to be seen for another 1,000 years, could be used to the cultist's advantage. Our analysts believe that a human sacrifice will be required. As before, I like having the idea of there being pressure, a time limit, so I'll play it on slow. I would play it on agent difficulty. Again, we've seen the game. Veteran just makes it so you have to be even more lucky than normal. Heroes even, and it goes up and up. I actually like recruit the best, but we'll keep playing on agent. It's tough enough, and I can beat the game on agent. And I said let's play on Reaper. We will play on Reaper. Now, if the game ends up locking because of one of those image not found or whatever it is that happens, well, that's the thing we're just gonna have to, we'll have to accept it. That's basically it. All right, let's go ahead and hit next. So as before, we get to make a character. Harley was successful, good for her. I'm kind of in the mood. Let's think. We're fighting Cthulhu creatures. If I recall correctly, you fight lots of cultists, and cultists are good at combat. You won't be able to use much magic or psychic abilities. You need swords and cups to fight them off. That said, I think we'll try and play a scientist this time around. We played a thief in the last one, I think, right? So we'll play a scientist. Let's name him, Dr. Weird. Go for Dr. Weird. Is that right? Professor Weird. We'll go for Professor Weird. Professor... Weird. Oh. Weird. There you go. Word? Weird. We'll go with that. Right. So, let's immediately do what I always do. And put 2 points in everything. I know I'm going to have leftover... Oh, let's do this. And that gives us 1 more point to put in one of these stats. But I'm going to wait to see what I select for a background and so on. So we're playing a professor. Well, there's a professor right here. You had a distinguished academic career and were a department chair at an elite university. But that all ended when your studies led you into the twisted warrens of the occult. Your colleagues soon called you a quack and ostracized you. The odd values your research and theories, but sadly no one else will ever know that you were right. We get a bone of wands. We have a puzzle or perception edge. That's a passive. We have 1 intellect heroic feat. That's probably also used for puzzles. We gain a random wands item, a random fire talisman, and +1 wand. So that's decent. That's decent. Generally, the wands item tends to improve your wand's stat again. So this is useful. We'll go ahead and put our extra point into... cups could be really useful, as could swords or pentacles. Odds are we'll be able to improve our pentacles as we play through the game. Having starting swords and cups could be useful, but that doesn't make sense for a scientist. So we'll pick pentacles up a rank. So the good news about this is that with a 3 in wands and a 3 in pentacles, we will be able to have dialogue with any ghosts or demons we encounter. The bad news is that combat might slaughter us. We might lose in the first before the first token is even drawn. We could lose terribly. We get a starting bones. So if I choose pentacles, this will give me the option to use spells right away. If I choose like swords or cups, we could use swords especially. We'll be able to use weapons right away if we find any of them. So they're both good choices. I think we'll pick pentacles to start. Bones of Pentacles are used primarily for casting spells. Spells cannot be cast unless you have... Oh, and by the way, everyone, I'm choosing it because we start with a Bone of Wands. So I do not want another Bone of Wands. That is a fantastic way to really, really nerf yourself in the game. I don't think the game is that easy that you would ever want to do that. Just play it on a harder difficulty setting. And we get a starting edge, some sort of passive to help us out. So we're Professor. We should stick with Professor-like things. Let's think. Mental Fortress. These are all used for horror checks, which is very useful. Persuasion Deception could be good too. Polyglot. That'll make it easier to do so. Extra cards are drawn for it. Let's go with Verbal Intuition. X additional cards are drawn at the start of any Persuasion or Deception challenge where X is the level of the edge. It starts at level 1, so we draw 1 extra card for those. Okay, here's Professor Weird. This is definitely a weird character. I don't think we're going to get very far this time around. Let's go! I know... So, a big thing with these games is that the first time I play them, I get really angry when I lose. I'm like, oh, you freaking game. But after I lose several times in a row, I eventually begin not to care very much. It's the effect of caring about losing affects me less in a game like this, where it is a roguelike and where we're going to lose very easily. And that was right. Whatever our wands item is we gained a free point of wands because of it. Awesome. Okay, so let's take a look around really fast. Let's take a look and see what we drew for random stuff as well. Brilliant Insight. What does this do for us? Roll 1 bone. That'll be our bone of wands. And then select a not revealed trick card and reveal it. If the revealed trick card is a non-face card, so a number, bump it down -X, which will be the number that we rolled, I think. After all cards have been bumped, then add X to your trick points taken score, where X is the number of wands rolled. And it's used for puzzle, lores, and perception. It also uses courage, so we need to get some courage in order to... We only get 1, that's a really low number. We also get a tablet. What does this do? This gives us +1 wands, and to use it, use for lore. Roll 1 bone and bump the card value up on 1 random non-face played card plus X, where X was the number of wands rolled. Okay. Well, lots of lore, so that will help us. We are indeed a researcher. What else do we have? What's our personnel file? Wands and pentacles. That is wonderful. I'm going to want to take 1 point in each of those, and then we'll be ready to add a skill card. We gain Museum Curator. The value of your initial card draws for any puzzle lore perception challenge must include at least X face cards, where X is the level of the edge. Oh, wonderful. So we're guaranteed to start with a page or through a king of some suit. One of them, because the level is only 1. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do, everyone, is quickly go back to the main menu, because this will let me have at least a save game here. We'll call it Professor Weird. We'll be right back, everyone. I'm just doing this to create the save file in case the game crashes right away. Which it can happen in Reaper. So, I love Vic Davis's games. I love all the Cryptic Comet games, but some of them do have bugs. So, for this entrance here, there's I think there's 2 entrances you can get to the house. We've seen the other one in the last video. This is the other one. Don't step forward toward the pit above the coffins. There's a great chance you'll just fall right in, and then your game's over, because you're going to be in the cellar, and you don't have any experience, and you're not probably getting out of it. So don't step here, or around it. Avoid it. Go on the edges. Just a heads up. Alright, well, let's start exploring the place. Okay, the encounters you get on the first floor are easier than the ones on the second, which are easier than the ones in the attic, which are easier than the ones in the cellar, which are easier than the ones in basement level 1, which are easier in basement level 2, with some exceptions. The garden, or the backyard of the mansion, can be quite difficult. There will be a fight in this room versus a nurse, like a creature from Silent Hill. I will avoid it, because I am not a combat-oriented character at the moment. Paintings. And statues. Oh, by the way, everyone, I don't know if I mentioned it before. If you hover over a space, in the upper left-hand corner, it tells you what type of room it is. I only noticed it by watching my last Let's Play. After all the years I've been playing this game, I only noticed it recently. This is a gallery, so we'll step in this place. There's an encounter right away. Let's see what it is. A disturbing tapestry. Your attention is drawn to an old tapestry hanging on the wall that depicts a medieval battle of some sort. It looks like it should be in a museum. Examining the battle scene a little closer, you immediately notice a large red hand that divides 2 groups of armored knights. Suddenly, the battle seems to come to life. Knights charge the hand on both sides and are knocked to the ground. You stare at it in amazement, wondering if you are hallucinating. Resist the horror. Your eyes widen in disbelief as the battle unfolds before you. A ghostly vapor seems to enshroud the tapestry. So just in case, everyone, you don't understand how this works. So every encounter has a difficulty, a modifier, and a target. This uses one of our stats to determine what it is. It's hard-coded. So the hand tapestry here will always use wands. Because of our current stats, I believe, determine the difficulty of the encounter, along with how far advanced the story is. Because our stats are low, the difficulty is only 7. We have a wands score of 4, which produces a target level of 3. We need to earn 3 points during the minigame. We get to draw 6 trick cards, put them on the table, and then our hand consists of 5 cards. Every encounter you have in the game, well, almost every encounter, will require you passing a horror check first, and then you can interact with it. Combats generally will involve you losing life, depending upon what type of combat it is. But this is an encounter. And we have not a good draw. Our horror cards down here consist of no face cards. This also means that it's more likely for us to have face cards here, because we did not draw any. You draw from the same deck of cards. Alright, well, let's see what happens. So we need to get 3 points. A Queen of Wands. So we drew a wand card. We have a wand card in our hand. This means that we must play this card. A wand card in our hand must be played in order to flip over another trick. We have to do this. A 6 of Swords. Well, we have a 2 of Swords. Queen of Cups. Hey, we can take the 7 of Pentacles with our 9. The good news is that if we fail this, we'll only have to draw 1 fail card. And we have to draw 1 fail card. Your mind is weak. You struggle to maintain your sanity. Cursed artifacts give you the creeps. You remember that night that you spent in the museum at Miskatonic University? We are museum curators, so that makes sense. You still can't remember several days from that mission. Yeah, that makes sense for Professor Weird. Let's see what happens to him. So, because we failed, we have to draw a card. One of these cards are either no effect cards, or there's some horrible thing. Generally, early on in the game, you don't have to worry about immediately losing your mind, because that can totally happen, even from weak encounters like this one, from horror checks as well. We get 1... Well, can it happen in horror checks? I don't know. I'm going to guess you can. We have to pick 1 card. And nothing happened to us. Nothing happens. This card has no result value. The tapestry is obviously animated by some type of sorcery. It might even be possessed by some malign spirit. You should proceed with caution. It isn't unheard of for something like this to function as a doorway or portal to another dimension. Once in, you might not get back out. We can destroy it by tearing it to shreds. However, it looks like there's some sort of enchantment around it, because the odds of us succeeding this are pitiful. We could also try to use sorcery to dispel it, breaking it down. However, well, the chance here is good. However, most encounters in the game are part of a quest. If we can find the key to this, we might be able to solve the puzzle without requiring us destroying it. So I will leave it alone, instead of actually trying to destroy the tapestry. Some encounters like this one you can just leave here. Once you've encountered this, hovering over it will show you the picture. Unfortunately for us, the mini-map doesn't actually show me where these things are. That would have been so useful, but it does not do so. We'll just have to remember what it looks like. You also... Oh, what was that? You also cannot shift floors, unfortunately. You only get the mini-map of the floor you are on. Uh-oh. Where am I? Gay, where am I? Can I click here? Oh! We can click on... Oh, how about that? I never realized that. Okay, you can click on the mini-map and it takes you right to that spot. That's actually really handy. Really handy. We should see what this is. It's probably the talking busts. A row of talking busts. You notice a row of sculpted marble busts against the wall. You count 4 until you notice that one has fallen to the floor and subsequently cracked in half. A sudden chill comes over you as you watch in amazement as the faces on the busts begin to move. Lips pucker and cheeks flex as if they were warming up for something. And then they begin to sing. You hold your hands to your ears, but the ghostly singing will not cease. Some jingle about grim grinning ghosts flows from their lips, and you just wish the noise would stop. It might drive you crazy if it doesn't. I think this is a cartoon. I think this is one of those ancient cartoons. Ancient cartoons? From like the 40s, 30s or so? I think that's what this is relating to. There's a lot of pop culture references in here. If you can guess, sometimes I'll be able to tell you what video game or movie or event it's referring to. We have another bad hand draw. I say bad because we have no face cards in our hand. That will make this difficult to succeed. We can take the 9 with our 10. We'll do so. Hey, we win the horror check. Wonderful. Okay. Your mind is strong. You start gritting right back at them, and it seems to annoy them greatly. We're successful. We can draw up to 2 cards. There's no reason not to draw the cards. To my knowledge, you can never get anything bad from a horror check. In fact, I think the only thing you could ever draw that's bad is if you draw cards in a flee, when you try to flee combat. If you draw cards then, I think you might lose courage on occasion. We did not get anything, though. Unfortunately, as well, the game doesn't show you what was here. I would have loved if the game at least showed you what was present, so you knew if you missed something. To this day, I do not know if all the cards that get laid out, if sometimes there's just nothing present. I just have no idea. And the game files won't tell me, unfortunately. The chorus of talking heads continues unabated, even though it has no further effect on you. The heads seem to be having too good a time to stop. You are certain that some sorcerous curse has bound spirits to these busts as some form of punishment. Just who was being punished, though, is an open question. We can interrupt the talking busts. You decide to use your expertise as a medium to attract the bust's attention. And we're going to do this and see if you can find out what their story is. They might have useful information, since they seem to have been sitting here for quite some time. Requires a persuasion and lore check. We are good at this sort of thing, so we'll be doing that. We could also attempt to attack them. Looks like there's some sort of penalty to it, as usual. I don't know why Vic Davis made the difficulty of these so high to start. We can use sorcery to try to destroy them, or engage them in a psychic duel. The only thing... excuse me. The only thing I can think of... Sorry, I need some soda. Is that the difficulty is high to encourage you to not do these things. Because even with the low wands or pentacles, this is still going to be the easiest thing for you to do. So let's go ahead and interrupt them. Hey, this is a good draw. This is a very good draw. So first off, there's no reason I think why we shouldn't use our... Oh, our tablet's used after we play a card. I don't need to use Brilliant Insight. Alright, let's see what we get. An 8. Well, I don't have a good card for that, and not even my tablet will help me. So we'll just take it with that. Oh, darn it. I actually should have played the 5. That would have let me use the tablet and attempt to get some points. Okay, 7 Pentacles. We can totally take it with the Page of Pentacles. Oh, points. How do points work? Number cards are worth 1 point. Pentacles is worth 2. A Knight is worth 3. A Queen is worth 4. And the King is worth 5. You gain... when you take a card... you earn the total of the card you played and the card you took. In this case, the 7 Pentacles is worth 1 point. The Page is worth 2. This will earn us 3 points. And we obviously play the King of Cups. This will earn us 6. And there's no reason not to use it. The tablet, I don't think there's any reason why we can't use the tablet every single time. So let's use it. And we roll our Bone of Wands. We get a 6. Oh, it chooses randomly the card. Oh, that's interesting. However, it increased our 2 of Wands to an 8 of Wands. This ties, and we win ties. That's enough to earn me 2 more points. You want to earn as many points as possible when it comes to actually succeeding like persuasion rolls or combats. This is the best chance you have of winning things besides just sanity from horror checks. You enter a trance and start singing along with them. It's painful, but by messing up the words and being dreadfully out of tune, you get their attention. Soon they are begging you to stop. That's when you take control of the conversation. All right, we'll take a look and see what this does, what it wants us to do shortly. So, this card is a gain sanity card. We will earn 3 more points of our sanity. Your sanities and your health can reach a maximum of 40 points in the game. The higher your sanity and your health, the greater the losses will be as well. Oh, just be sanity. The busts were once members of a family that resided here. The story is muddled and conflicting from the various heads that you are sure they are lying about what happened to some extent, but the short of it is that they were cursed by a Black Lodge sorcerer. They are unanimous in their opinion, though, that you can help them. The sorcerer also cursed a statue of a gargoyle. It resides somewhere in the house and contains a coin inside that, when used properly, can break the curse. Alright, we'll come back and free them later. You can't attack them now once you actually figure out what it is that they're doing. There is nothing else that you can do. So we've only earned some sanity. Let's keep going. Another hallway. Hello, corridor. Ah, the boxing ring. I don't think we can do this yet. I would want 1 more wands and 1 more pentacles before I do the boxing ring challenge. You end up fighting quite a few ghosts in here, and you can get a decent edge at the very end of this, plus all the experience for fighting the ghosts. So we'll come back here when I can earn some experience points. Tool room. So, why am I going in here now? Oh, and I should play a little bit more here, just to bring you guys up to speed in case this is the first video you're seeing. Places you've been are orange. Places you have not been are purple? Gray? Gray. I am walking on all the spots because strewn throughout the mansion, there are, I want to say, like 6 to 8 clue tokens. Clue tokens will make the final battle easier for everyone that you pick up, and you want to find them, as many of them as you possibly can. Oh god, the zombie hallway. We'll go down that later. Oh, okay, the organ is here. Let's go into the music room. You'll note that I try to do these rooms without backtracking at all, because we are on a timer. Once you draw the first token, I'll explain how tokens work. Alright, let's see what we have here. The haunted piano. You see a magnificent grand piano in front of you. The hairs on the back of your neck begin to stand on end. You feel a presence nearby. Streams of psychokinetic energy are leaking from the piano. You can hear a wailing plea in your mind for help. Some supernatural entity possesses the piano. You brace yourself for its psychic impact. You can see the psychic wave roll towards you. You steady yourself to withstand the shock. Some low cards. We do have a King of Cups. We'll just have to hope we get a King of Cups up here. A Cups card. You can have my ace for all the good that does. Hey! Okay, we gained a 10. This will give us a 6. So you win that. I will flip over all the cards because I'm interested in playing my page. And I don't need the rest. We cannot... the ace is not present in the deck of tricks. We have the 2 in our hand. We can't win whatever these are. Your mind is strong. You deflect the fear that would have sought to dominate and consume you. Generally for horror checks, you tend to only gain sanity when you gain anything. The grand piano seethes before you. Something seems wrong here. You sense that a curse or fell sorcery has imprisoned 2 spirits here. One acts as jailer to the other. You can in fact hear the captive plead for release in your mind. Remember a lecture during your odd training about Plotinus's theory on spirit traps. Some cursed items used a spirit to effectively bind another spirit to its existing nexus with our world. Such spirit traps could snowball out of control given the chance. Perhaps we can free both before it's too late. Attack, sorcery, psychic duel. We'll leave it alone. I want experience from doing other things first to increase my wands and pentacles 1 point each. I think we'll keep playing until we draw a token, and then we'll call the session as well. Now, let's do, or until we die, which might happen right here. Oh wow, a zombie. You saw them lying on the floor, but you obviously didn't connect the dots. You started off down the hall, giving the burlap sacks a wide berth. You slipped past one large bag and then stopped in your tracks when you heard the ripping of cloth being torn by some sharp instrument. You turned to face the sound and witnessed a decaying corpse rising up out of the remnants of the bag. The sharp instruments are razor-like claws. Resist the horror. Your wishful thinking has put you in a tough position. Body sacks lying on the floor? What did you think was going to happen? Oh, another terrible draw. We'll only have a Knight of Wands to help us out here. Wow, but our 4 of Cups will beat the 3 of Cups. That will reduce the damage we'll take if we end up losing. Oh, and we win. Our 7 of Pentacles can take the 2, and we didn't draw any Wands. Your mind is strong. You've seen things worse than this wake up in the odd mortuary. The undead creature lumbers towards you. You know exactly what it intends. At this point, it's fight or flee. You had better hope the rest of those bags don't start moving. So we're going to fight it. If we flee and fail, we lose courage and hit points. If we fight it and fail, we lose hit points. If we fight it and win, we can proceed on. If we flee and win, it chases us. So I think we're going to go ahead and try to fight it. You decide that the best defense is a good offense. You remind yourself to go for the brain first. It doesn't have a brain. It's a zombie. Another terrible draw. We got 2 aces. Man, I really wish I had Justice as a wild card. All right. Well, it's not, I guess it's not the worst. We do have 2 face cards, a Page of Swords and a Knight of Wands. Okay, we will take this. Please don't be a King or Queen of Wands. We fail. You lost the battle. The zombie overpowers you and things go from bad to worse. Okay, nothing happened, thank goodness. Okay, we'll fight it again. Now, because of how low our stats are, the game makes it slightly easier for us the first time that we fail. I think this time around we've got 1 extra trick and maybe 1 extra draw as well. If you have a lot of high stats, though, like good amounts of health and sanity, and you fail, it won't lower it. It's going to make you keep going until you're back into low amounts again. Okay, well, we'll take the victory. Like I have a choice, I suppose. There's no reason to hold on to the 10 because... Oh, sorry, the page. Anything higher than... It's okay. The page of wands can take the 10 or lower for numbers. We have the 10 of wands, so we might as well play the page to earn an extra point here. Could be the ace, not the ace. You won the battle. The zombie lies scattered on the floor in several pieces. You decide not to put them back in the bag. 1 extra health point. Oh, I didn't explain this, by the way. We also have the Sacred Flame, a talisman. During challenges which are fire-related, I think... As fire wands? All the elements, the 4 elements, relate to one of these symbols. Swords, cups, wands, or pentacles. If you fail one of those challenges, there's a chance, in this case a 50% chance, that this talisman will appear on a random card during the loss segment, where you hit the cards because you lost. If you select the card that the talisman is on, if there was an effect on that card, you ignore it. And however, effect or not, there's a 5% chance when you select that card that the talisman fades away forever. If I live to the end of the game, you'll see me using these more often at the end of the game rather than the beginning. Now, we defeated the zombie in here, but this is the zombie hallway. It's a body bag hallway. There can be other encounters versus these zombies in here. But because we successfully did the horror check against it, we will not have another horror check to do against the zombies. Spray of darts. You feel your foot step down on the pressure plate and then hear the pneumatic sounds of darts being shot through blow tubes. You catch a glimpse of the deadly swarm of needle-tip killers heading your way. Duck and roll away, which we are not good at, and we have a slightly better chance to observe the darts and respond. You notice what you think is a gap in the wall of darts heading your way. You decide to crouch into it, so the bad news here is our trick score is really flipping low. We're going to have to hope the cards that are on the board is what we draw. It's not a bad hand. We got 3 knights, actually. Let's immediately take it with our knight. We kind of need to. Traps are very dangerous. You can get some really, really bad cards from traps, and some of them can kill you flat out. We lost. You completely misjudge that situation and get the full force of the wall of flying darts. Oh! Deep bleeding cut. -1 to our swords. Small increase in the chance a result card becomes a health loss card when the option primary challenge type is cups or swords. Normally, I'd restart the game at this point because taking a wound so early is terrible. It also consumes a space. We are now god-awful at fighting, and will be probably for the rest of the game. Well, let's keep going. Professor Weird is basically lost. This is terrible. That is an impairment. We, to my knowledge, cannot get rid of it. Let's keep exploring. A woman in red. You see the figure of a woman silhouetted against the wall. You call out, "Who's there?" but get no response. You almost wonder if it might be a mannequin of some sort. A sudden chill envelops you as you step closer. The shape shifts and turns to face you, revealing the outlines of smoky wings that unfold and then flit in and out of the darkness. Your eyes widen in disbelief as you confront what is obviously a winged woman of some sort. You think it must be a succubus. Your mind strains to comprehend the demonic creature that stands before you. Let's see, can we do this? I will play the swords and hope we get another swords up here for more points, and we did. Your mind is strong. You have seen things far worse than this. Yes, you decide this is most surely a succubus. You remember your odd training in dealing with minor demonics. You must be on your toes here. She will try and manipulate you into doing something rash, no doubt. She looks upon you with the saddest eyes that you think you've ever seen. She seems to want to speak with you. However, I've never been able to actually talk with her. In fact, I don't know what's involved in doing so. So we'll just try to flee. You will yourself to turn and run, but we don't have a good chance of doing this. We succeed anyway. You muster all your willpower and soon are away from it. Darn it! We can't even explore this room because she's in the way. If we step back in here, we have to escape her again, so we'll just leave her there. Alright, let's keep exploring this side of the house. Ah, the science room. Let's explore the science room. The laboratory. Makes sense for us. A mad scientist. You see a strange man hunched over a work table that is cluttered with blueprints, tools, gadgets, and other colorful test tubes. He barely takes any notice of you at first, as if he might have frequent visitors to his laboratory, which you find highly unlikely. You recognize the man from his odd file almost immediately, Dr. Laszlo Benway. What could he possibly be doing here? There's obviously some strange convergence that is attracting the most notorious and nefarious characters and supernatural entities to this place. Let's talk with them. Strange bedfellows? This place is downright dangerous. He's not your primary mission objective, but you two could both find a way to help each other out. 2 aces and a 2, but we do have a king and a knight of wands. We have to hope we get a wand card, though. We do. We're almost out of cards, so we'll play the king. And we win. You clear your throat, and you look Benway straight in the eye when he glances up. You note from his facial expression the recognition that you are an odd agent, and the faintest hint of a smile crosses his face. Yes, I think you'll do just fine, he says. Oh god, we're doing terrible. Absolutely horrible. Your arrival is almost serendipitous. I have a task for you. You will be rewarded, of course. Benway wants you to find his lab refrigerator, which also happens to be this house's only refrigerator, located naturally in the kitchen. Fetch a small jar labeled boffin juice, and return it here at once. We're doing terrible because we've explored quite a bit of the house already, and we haven't earned any experience points. This is the exact opposite of what happened when we were playing our thief. I might as well search this. What is this room? A smoldering corpse. Your attention is drawn to a burnt corpse sitting in a charred but yet still comfortable leather chair. The smell of burnt human flesh is overwhelming at first. You have encountered it before, and no matter how often you have experienced it, it always initiates a slight gag reflex. You take a closer look at the body to see if you can figure out what happened. That's when the hands unclench from the armrests and beckon you closer. Your eyes widen in disbelief as the burnt corpse motions you closer. "Come here, will you?" it whispers in a long, drawn-out moan. Not a terrible hand. We've had better. That'll let us win, though. We'll survive the horror check. Your mind is strong. You've seen things far worse than this. In fact, a few years back, you were assigned to a detail that had to clean up after Agent Sherman mess. One crispy body doesn't even come close. The creature does not seem to be able to leave its chair, being partially melted into the back of it. You think you hear something. The burnt corpse talks in the faintest audible whisper. Its mouth barely moves. Don't smoke. We're going to run away, because it's part of a quest. You decide to muster all your courage and willpower to try to get away from this burnt creature. There is something very wrong with it, and it scares you. Take a couple steps back and the smell begins to fade. You already feel a lot better. Soon you're away from it and feeling fine. Yeah, this is the bad news about taking a hit and not having a lot of, I guess, early successes. I can't even explore most of the room. Fleeing causes you to fall back, so I can't see what else is in here. We just have to leave it there and hope it's not something easy that we could actually defeat. We're going to go upstairs just to put this on the map. This is the second floor. We are nowhere ready for the second floor. The Glutton. You hear the sounds of something feeding. In the gloom, you see a bloated figure seated at the end of a table. Your first impression is that it is a corporeal and not a spirit of some sort. You step closer to get a better view. The creature is demonic in appearance. It's busy feasting on some type of meat that adorns a silver platter. It halts its chewing and slowly lifts its head up to examine you. The eyes transfix you. It doesn't even have any eyes from what I can see. Your training tells you that you are in danger. You fight to keep your mind from racing away with thoughts of panic and terror. You also struggle to keep your lunch down. Oh, an ace and a 2. We do have a king of cups, though. If we get a cups, we'll win. We don't. Your mind is weak. You can't control your fear or the feelings of nausea. You fall to your knees and heave out the contents of your stomach. The demon grins. There's our talisman. Lost 1 point of sanity. You are confronted with a demon of gluttony. As red juice runs down its face and chin, you struggle to overcome a growing nausea. You remember the odd lectures in demonology, a type of demon for each of the 7 deadly sins, as described by Julianus the Thurgist in the Hermetica Chaldea. Wow, that's a lot of fancy words. These demons love to bargain and converse, and playing along with one can be very dangerous. It seems to be sizing you up like it's looking at a menu. Let's bargain with the demon. You take a seat and manage to gain its attention. You start a conversation in Old Chaldelian. That's a good hand. 2 pages, well, 3 pages and a queen. We succeeded in talking to it. Now we can see if we can actually get tons of points here. And we do. It seems eager to hear you out. In fact, it wants you to do it a little favor. 1 experience point. Bring me more food and a bucket. The demon says it wants more food. And it's not just any food. There's a nursery nearby. It wants a baby. And from its description, it's not just any baby. I think this is a quote from Monty Python's The Meaning of Life, if I recall correctly. The part with the gentleman who just eats and throws up endlessly at the very end. Really nasty. I couldn't get through that movie. Falling chandelier. You hear the sound of straining metal above you, and then a sudden crack. You look up to see a massive glass and metal chandelier falling directly towards you. We're going to... Oh, God. Oh, more tricks and draw. I guess that's technically better. You judge the trajectory of the falling chandelier and notice that you can shuffle over to one side and avoid it entirely. Come on, cups. Oh, well, I'll still do it to win. It's a trap. Traps are horribly... In one game, I started, moved 1 spot, chandelier fell on me, and I took a massive... I took an impairment similar to the one we currently have. I just immediately restarted the game. Like, there's no reason to keep playing when the first thing you get is god-awful. It was just as you thought. There was a safe spot and you found it. Somebody should give you bonus points for style. Hey, luck! So this gives us +1 luck. You'll note that we don't see our luck. Well, actually, I don't know if it's +1 luck or a random amount of luck, but we granted more luck. This means that we have a better chance of getting better cards now when we draw successful cards. You'll note we don't have luck here. You never know what your luck is until the end of the game. No experience, though. A haunted painting of a coward. You notice an odd painting hanging on the wall. It is a portrait of a man dressed in 19th century clothing who appears to be completely petrified with fear. He holds a dueling pistol in both hands, and a group of undertakers in the background seem to be digging a grave. Suddenly, the portrait seems to animate and come to life. The coward looks at you with an imploring expression as if he was seeking your help. You could swear that you can hear the gravediggers laughing. You stare at the man in the painting, and his fear seems contagious. You might need to fight to keep your sanity. Oof, no face cards. That's really bad. Okay, we do pass the horror check at least. Your mind is strong. In a playful way, you exclaim, "Boo," to the ghost, and he starts to shake and sob uncontrollably. The coward in the portrait seems to be actually shivering. He seems to be fumbling with his dueling pistol, and you fear he will discharge it accidentally. There was obviously a spirit trapped in the painting by some sorcerous curse. We could try to rip the painting down, destroying it. Use sorcery to dispel the possession. We have a decent chance at that. Duel the ghost, which we have the best chance doing a psychic duel, or flee. I have a suspicion that he's part of a quest, but I've never been able to figure out where it is. There's another painting in this mansion, because we found this one, of it actually like a dueling bandit ghost, or something of the sort, and he's actually much tougher than this guy. We'll just duel him. I am desperate for the experience points. Maybe we'll earn it from this. The ghost is obviously scared to death to finish its duel. You consider that challenging it and completing the duel might put it to rest and allow it to pass on to the spirit world. They've gone to a lot of trouble to dig a grave for it in the painting, after all. Oh, oof. King of Pentacles. If we get Pentacles, we're going to win. Otherwise, this will be tough. Well, we can take the 2 of Cups with our 3 of Cups. Goodbye, swords. Not enough. You summon a psychic weapon. Marching off 10 paces, you turn and fire, but miss. The coward is cringing in sheer terror and drops his weapon. It goes off, and the shot grazes your head. You'll need to do it again. So the good news about that is that this will be a little easier this time, and we might get a better hand draw, which might let us win more. Something strategically do is fail a challenge, especially if like I got all low cards, it's a low target number, and attempt to get a better hand draw, especially early in the game. So let's take this with our queen, so we can earn the points. This will also let us win. Oh, we're tying, so we're definitely going to want excellent, something better. I'm nervous that we won't get a page here, so let's pay the knight for another. What is that? That's 4 points, and we win. You won the duel. Upholding the whole pretense of fighting a pistol duel, you summon a psychic weapon. Marching off 10 paces, you turn and fire and spiritually wound the cowardly thing, sending it off on its way to the spirit world. Come on, experience. I need it so badly. Nothing. Ugh. You're going to be complaining quite a bit. I'd have started over by now, normally. Well, let's see how far we can get, Professor Weird. Is this the kitchen? This is the kitchen. Somewhere in here is the refrigerator. That's probably it. Oh, this might be it, actually. The ghost chef. You see what at first looks like a blur of light and shadow moving back and forth in a circular pattern. It might even be the reflection of some nearby mirror or window. Suddenly, you see a ghost materialize before you. It's dressed in the classic attire of a chef with an apron and a distinctive-looking hat. You stop dead in your tracks and try and compose yourself. Your mind races contemplating this ghostly creature that has suddenly appeared before you. The fear it elicits is, of course, natural, but confronting the supernatural is never easy. Especially not without face cards. We won. It's just a horror check. You can take my 4 and my 8. You've kept your sanity. You might even emerge from this a little stronger. Oh, I won't, because the game hates me. The ghostly chef floats about in a circle as if moving from workstation to working station. It seems completely absorbed in what it is doing. It does not seem to be paying you any attention. Let's communicate with them. You decide to try and make contact with the ghostly chef to find out what has it so animated. We can't even get a 1? You enter a trance and reach out to the ghost. It turns to look at you with an angry face. No time to talk. Game hates you. It needs more cowbell. It needs more cowbell. I can't believe it. We'll try. Actually, I can believe it. We'll try again. Do I want to play the page? Or do I just want to fail this? We'll play the page. I should have failed it. Darn it. No pentacles. That's a shame. You enter a trance and make contact with the ghostly chef and inquire about its work. It seems to mutter something and then snaps around to look at you with a fervent intensity. It wants something from you. I've lost my knife. I think it ran off somewhere. Have you found it? It's very sharp and very strong-willed. Has a mind of its own, you know. Please tell it to come here at once. You have a bad feeling about this. The thing in the oven! You stop dead in your tracks when you first see it. A large 19th century oven is shambling across the floor in front of you. It seems to rock back and forth, and you hear the loud scrapes that it makes as it hobbles forward. A sudden chill shoots down your spine as you realize that you are confronting something otherworldly here. You flinch in horror as a face seems to materialize and turn its attention to you. Haunted furniture and you never get along very well. Your eyes widen in disbelief as the possessed oven turns to meet your gaze. You must fight to keep your sanity. Can we do it? Yes, we can. It's just a horror check, so I don't particularly care about trying to game it. Your mind is strong? You'll be damned if you let this kitchen appliance scare you. The possessed oven seems to rock back and forth as it sizes you up. You could swear you hear screams from souls trapped within the oven roasting in agony. This creature is the product of sorcery, or a curse of unfathomable evil. We'll just try to run from it. It's part of a quest. You muster all the courage that you can and slowly back away. Before you know it, you are well away. I never tried to get... you'll never see me draw cards from a flea. A fleeing challenge. This looks bad. We'll explore it anyway. We'll continue. Part of me wishes that I didn't have to do that, though. Alright, let's go up this way. So it's not in the kitchen, or it's in a different kitchen. I'm looking for, what is this room? A larder. Head on a stake. You think you see a disembodied head floating in the gloom. As you near its location, you realize that it is a head of a man mounted on a stake that protrudes from the floor. Dried blood stains the stake and what was once a pool on the floor. You are startled when the eyes of the head flutter open. The thing is animated by some curse or forbidden sorcery, and it almost seems to be smiling at you. You lock gazes with the head and feel chilled to the bone. You must fight to keep your sanity with an absolutely horrible hand. Your mind is weak. You get no successes. The head's gaze seeks to peel away a little bit of your sanity. The head on the stake is obviously animated by some evil sorcery, most likely some necromantic artifice. Such a curse would require great power and forbidden knowledge. Its gaze is locked on you, and you sense an intelligence of some sort. We can probably talk with it. Talk with the head. You sense a desire to communicate from the head. It almost looks like it is trying to move its mouth. Maybe you should try to find out what the head wants. Well, not with this roll. I'm just going to fail this. You attempt to make contact with the head, but your efforts fail. Again. I'm willing to do this one. Assuming I can get a swords. There we go. Awesome. So that was one of my strategic take the loss, hope for a better hand, and get more points from it. And that seems to have worked. Hopefully we'll earn some experience from this. The head speaks to you. Much to your horror, you find out that he was an occultist artifact collector who stumbled upon this place 15 years ago. He wants your help in a personal vendetta. 3 experience, thank goodness. The head was once a disciple of Thomas Vaughan, the 17th century alchemist. Using Vaughan's elixir, he had managed to extend his life immensely. He was searching for Vaughan's orb of transmutation on behalf of the Palladian Order. His search was cut tragically short when he was overconfidently approached a cursed guillotine. He thought it might hide the artifact. In a trance, he placed his head inside the guillotine's lock and ended up in a basket. A mischievous imp thought it would make a nice decoration and mounted him here. He wants to destroy the guillotine and break his curse. He teaches you a Voruchamandian, I guess, release chant that will give you the power to safely dispel the sorcery that binds the curse of the guillotine. He then requests that you return to him afterwards to help free his soul. Well, we finally have some experience for something. We'll up our wands 1 point. We're working on pentacles next. A dying plant man. You notice a human figure curled up into a fetal position and struggling for breath. It's obvious that whatever it is, it's sick and probably dying. As you draw closer, you realize that this figure before you isn't human. It's some type of weird half-plant and a half-human lab experiment monstrosity. You occasionally encounter things that science shouldn't meddle with, and this is one of those. You stare in horror at the pathetic creature and wonder what madness would drive someone to create this. Ah, that's a good hand. That's actually a really good hand. 2 kings and a page? That's fantastic. With high numbers as well. Your mind is strong. You have seen things far worse than this. You were part of the team that broke into the 5th lab and discovered the twisted, alchemically created creatures called chimeras. This isn't anywhere near as bad as that. Is that from Fallout? Wow, nice. 6 sanity. The dying plant man looks up at you expectantly. You think that you can recognize emotions in its facial expressions, fear and pain. In between labored breaths, it seems to be chittering like it was trying to communicate with you. The message is plain. Please end this. He's part of a quest, though, for the professor that we saw below. This is the garden. We are not going out there. The garden is one of the tougher areas between the 1st and 2nd floor. It is a very tough area to do, and I will not be stepping down there. The demon in the fire. You see a large marble fireplace decorated with ornate sculptures, but what really astonishes you is the fire burning within the hearth. The flames dance around and lick the walls of the fireplace, almost as if it were some type of living entity. Then it strikes you. A demonic face appears in the flames, and the sudden realization that this creature has noticed you sends a wave of horror rolling over you. You struggle to keep calm and not give in to panic. You are looking straight in the face of some type of flaming evil horror. It seeks to dominate your mind, and you know that you must not let that happen. It's a horror check, so I just want to win. Oh, of course, you want to win everything. What I mean by that is that I don't really care about, again, gaming it, trying to hold on the card, see if I can get more points. I just want to win the horror check as quick as possible. Your will is stronger than this evil creature of flame. You force it out of your mind and hold on to your sanity. Nice, need more sanity. The face of the fire smiles at you. This demonic creature must have been bound to the fireplace. How long ago and by whom are questions that you cannot answer. You cautiously step forward so that you can examine the situation in more detail. The demon seems contained within the hearth, but you have no idea how strong his binding there is. We can banish him. We have a good chance of doing that. We can try to bargain with them. We'll try this. Something strange is going on here. You sense the opportunity to communicate with the demon and perhaps figure out how it was bound here and for what purpose. Now, unlike other encounters where I can take the hit, if we fail this, the demon will come out and try to attack us. So I'll need to succeed at this. It's not a good hand. Oh, oof. The King of Pentacles to take... Oh, come on. Well, this went very poorly. We did win, if I want to play the Queen. Let's do it. Using the lost sign language of Kaldesh, you establish contact with the demon. Nice. The demon states that it was recently bound here by an acolyte claiming to serve some dark master. It's clear that the demon thought the human insane and dabbling in things that were way over his head. The acolyte somehow managed to find a list of demonic names and binding rituals in some forgotten tome. The demon says that the acolyte would write them on a small enchanted slips of paper. He believes his own name to be in the acolyte's pocket. He perished a short few hours ago when he foolishly attempted to summon and bind another demon, but got the slips of paper mixed up. Find the acolyte's body, then bring the name to the demon, and he will reward you. That one experience can improve our pentacles. Next, we're going to be taking a skill card next. Probably something that can improve my swords and cups, if possible. And this just leads back down to the entrance. I'm not going to bother going that way. I haven't drawn a token yet, honestly. A locked door. You see a locked wooden door. There was a worn keyhole right where it belongs, but no sign of a key anywhere. You examine the lock mechanism and decide that you just might know how to finesse it open. Locks are great ways to get experience. You can get quite a bit from it. Sure. The lock opens. You are just as talented with the lock as you thought. The mechanism clicks, and you turn the knob to open the door. You can get, like, luck ups here, but you also can get bad omens from them. Let's be spending that experience points. Oh! Guns! We have a slight chance to get a decent weapon from here. Oh, darn it. I'm playing on Reaper mode. This is what I would use one of my, my reloads. Let's try. Oh! Not today. There's no encounter here whatsoever. That's a shame. Mail room. Spray of acid. You feel the pressure plate depress underneath your foot and hear the sizzling sound as a spray of acid hurtles towards you. Oh. You take a millisecond to take in the situation and pick the best angle for your roll. You hope that it will make the difference. We have a King of Wands. We're going to need a wand to help us not take a huge loss here. Holy crap, we won. Wow, that was lucky. We had an ace, a 2, a 3, and a 4 in our hand as well. Thank goodness we got lucky here. Your quick thinking saves the day. That's one thing of criticism I have about the game, is I don't know why you would play it on a higher difficulty level. That just determines how lucky, basically, you're thinking you can be. Oh, 2 experience. Wonderful. The altar is prepared. The high priest has inspected the altar and finished with his sanctification. The runes of opening have been written with his own blood. The first of our story tokens has been drawn, everyone. What does this say? All challenges that involve wands as the primary suit receive a -1 modifier to the number of tricks cards placed on the board while this story icon is active. In other words, until we draw the next token, cards which involve wands require 1 more success point to be successful at them. And that will do it for us, everyone. We're going to stop here. Let's take stock of the situation. So we actually did earn some experience, which is thank goodness we did, increasing our wands and pentacles 1 rank. We're almost at another skill card. This won't give us anything but a card itself, which will let us choose more things like what we see on this card altogether. That's not so bad. However, taking the deep bleeding cut is god-awful, and to my knowledge, there's no way to get rid of it. So this is absolutely nightmarish to have this, even this early in the game. I'm surprised we lasted until we got the first story token. I guess we're doing okay. I don't have a good, again, taking an impairment so early, I don't have a good feeling about this game, about this whatsoever. Not one bit. All right, well, I'll see you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one, and take care, everyone.